Okay, welcome back to more adventures in calculus here. We are going to continue working with finding the derivative of a function. So what I want to do in this one is take the derivative of f of x equals the square root of 1 plus x, and I want to use the four-step process to do it. Okay, so step 1 says write f of x plus h. Okay, so that is the square root of 1 plus, and we're just going to put x plus h in for x here. So plus x plus h. Okay. And there's not a lot to simplify. I might do this. Turns out we don't really need those parentheses. Okay, so that's it. Step 2. Find f of x plus h, and we just found, minus f of x. What is that? Well, that is just the square root of 1 plus x plus h minus f of x, which is right here, okay, x plus h. Sorry, 1 plus x. Okay. Then simplify. Ooh. Well, there's nothing really to simplify here. So I guess we just leave it. The problem that we have is that step 2 requires us to have an h in each term. You can see that there is not an h in each term. That means a factor of h in each term. All right, so the question is, how can we fix that? All right, so you might, again, pause and try and think about how we could fix that here. Hopefully you paused and thought about it. We're going to have to use the conjugate. All right, so we're going to have to multiply this expression by the conjugate of it so that we can end up with an h in each term. All right, and what I want to do is I want to give myself some space to do this. So you guys should have written all of this down. If you didn't, you can pause it and write it down. Let's get rid of all of that. Okay, so right here, again, we're continuing on step 2. I have this, the square root of x plus, the square root of 1 plus x plus h minus the square root of 1 plus x. Okay. And what I'm going to do is multiply by the conjugate, which is the opposite sign of this expression, or this expression with an opposite sign in the middle. So it would be the square root of 1 plus x plus h plus the square root of 1 plus x. Now we can't just multiply by that, right? We have to multiply by it on the top and the bottom. So square root of 1 plus x plus h plus square root of 1 plus x. All right, now we're going to simplify. This will end up being on top. The middle term will drop out. That's what we want, okay? So if we take the first term and multiply, then we have square root of 1 plus x plus h times square root of 1 plus x plus h. That will leave us with 1 plus x plus h. Middle term, or outside term and inside term drop out, plus negative root of 1 plus x times positive root of 1 plus x. So that will end up being minus 1 plus x. And on the bottom, we just have the denominator here. So square root of 1 plus x plus h plus square root of 1 plus x. Okay? So here I have, I'm going to clean this up actually without writing the last step. Well, whatever, I'll write it, I guess. 1 minus 1 is 0. So those drop out. X minus x drops out. I'm left with just this. H divided by the square root of 1 plus x plus h plus the square root of 1 plus x. Whew. Okay. Fantastic. So there's step 2. Then you ask yourself, is there a factor of h in each term here? Yeah, there is. There's one term. It's a fraction. And it does have a factor of h in it. If you want, you can write the h out in front, make it painfully obvious that it does have a factor of h. That would be fine too. Okay, so let's go on to step 3 then. Everything's pretty much downhill from here. All right, so I will have this for step 3. I have h divided by the square root of 1 plus x plus h plus the square root of 1 plus x, all of that divided by h. All right, now we've talked about these complex fractions in a previous video, so I feel a little bit safe, I think, to say this, that this is just going to end up being 1 over 1, and so this will be 1 over the square root of 1 plus x plus h plus the square root of 1 plus x. Okay, so there is our step 3, which, well, I didn't write it, I'm sorry, I didn't write that, but it was divide by h. And then step 4 is to actually take the limit as h approaches 0 of that expression. So I had to put this, 1 over the square root of 1 plus x plus h plus the square root of 1 plus x. Okay, and now I can actually take the limit. So what do I get? Well, I plug in 0 right here for h, and that will just end up being this expression, 1 over the square root of 1 plus x plus the square root of 1 plus x. And simplify that further, 1 over 2 square root of 1 plus x. Okay, so again, like we did in the last video, to sum up f prime of x then is equal to 1 divided by 2 square root of 1 plus x. Right? There's the 4-step process applied to a radical function to find the derivative. So hopefully you kind of followed along there. And like I said, I'd like you to try the first couple in the assignment or on the worksheet using the 4-step process. If you want to get rid of it after that because you're confident in finding the derivative, then that's okay. So, but otherwise, I think that's pretty much wraps up section 3.1.